Sanni. Sanni.
There are many tools that are available to us as speakers, from our faces to our gestures, humor, and of course our words. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, what I saw today was a potent combination of all the tools that a speaker has at their use. Nikki came up here and she showed us how to use each and every one of those tools in sync to drive a message forward. There's so much I could talk about, but I want to focus my evaluation of Nikki's speech on two broad categories. Let's talk about the verbal side of her speech and the nonverbal side of what she did. On the verbal side, I'll talk about some things she did really well and how she could improve, and same thing on the nonverbal side. Let's talk about the verbal side for a second. Nikki used words economically and powerfully. You can talk and talk and talk all you want, but there's something about a well-constructed phrase that really drives the message home. When Nikki said, 10 parties, 100 people, use your imagination. For better or worse, we did. And then she just left it alone. She let the words do the work. And that was very powerful. How could Nikki have made that speech even better from a verbal perspective? There was a concept in your speech, Nikki, that I think was critical for its success. 100 kilometers. For a lot of us, we can imagine 100 kilometers, but it may not be as clear to us as if you had used an explanation of some sort, maybe an analogy. Say, for example, if you're driving on the highway at the speed limit, it takes you 1 hour to cover 100 kilometers. Right away, we understand really how far 100 kilometers is. So those numbers would have made a lot more, they would have made a lot more impact if you had framed it in a way that we could relate to. So that's for the verbal side. But overall, honestly, the words are too many great words to talk about there. On the nonverbal side, a lot of good stuff going on here for sure. You all agreed. Nikki used nonverbal very effectively. You blocked off the stage. Very advanced skill. She started here. Again, the parties were over here. The parties are always going to be here in my head now. Every time I'm in this conference, there are going to be a set of parties here. Very distracting. Thank you. So you started off, you used the timeline. So your race started here and kind of progressed. So that's a very advanced use of stage. Your face, of course, very animated. How could you have done that even better? Two things I'll share with you. Number one is the timeline went back and forth a little from where I was sitting. So you were here, you moved here, then the hill was here. So if you're going to stick with the timeline, go all the way through. That would have made it a lot more effective visually for the audience. The second thing I want to introduce you to is the concept of the fourth wall. Anybody know what the fourth wall is? Fourth wall? In acting, that's when you have 1, 2, 3, then an imaginary fourth wall. Why is that important? There were points in your speech where you were going up a hill. Instead of talking about going up the hill, imagine the audience is in there and actually go up the hill. But overall, fantastic speech. Improve your verbal, enhance the nonverbal, and I wish you all the best in speaking in the future, Mr. Toastmaster.
Please share with me in a minute of silence in support of our judges.